Yes, oh yo 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 yo. Oh yo 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 yo. Yeah, yo yo yo. Yes, skinny my show. What am I going to do? What are we gonna do in Paris? Yes, according to the report, information coming to us, just reaching us not quite long from the Office of Minister of Sport Development, St. John Oweno, that Team Nigeria contingent started receiving allowance. It's in a foreign currency. Yes, sir. The allowance is for both domestic and foreign trainings, for foreign companies. I was say goodness, I was say yes, good one. On behalf of Team Nigeria Athlete, I say thank you, Honorable Minister of Sport, and thank you, Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for approving. Mr. President, the Minister said Mr. President did everything they brought to his table. Yes, kudos to Mr. President, the sport of the President. And we signed. Yes, Minister of Sport signs the partnership document to partner the 1996 Olympic history. Remember, Nigeria did make history at the 1996 Olympics, where our own discipline retired Choma Jua became the first Nigerian athlete to win a gold medal. And also our Olympic teams, the dream teams, won a good medal. As MBBF actually released the final team roster for the Tigers, they're also preparing to play Japan in their friendly test. His own man suddenly stepped down from his role as the consultant for of Akure. It's time for girls to be known in sport, not only men, not only boys. As NFL endorses girls play sport football tournament. Yes, this and many more we'll discuss through the show this evening. And I am Olufemi Atoye. They call me the Honorable of Such Consistency. And you know we do it on this platform. It's a gang format show. It's not a solo show. And I will be in the studio this evening. The vast of the gang. Oda, Odo, Christel. Yes, the one we call Daddybilly. You're with him. And I can assure you that the gang will be, as you said, very soon. Because the military marshal is also on his way. It's actually due to some technical issues. Remember that there have been a very wet day in Abuja this morning. Good evening, Daddybilly. Welcome to the show this evening.
Yes, good evening, Atoye. Good evening, Abuja. I trust we're having a beautiful day. It's really been a wet Tuesday in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria with the downpour that came. I think the first thing that breathed Tuesday morning, and we experienced it up until the last the late early evening, so to say. And welcome. Let's talk sports this evening.
Let's talk sport this evening. Let's start from the home front this evening. As ex-Aqua United and Sporting Lagos assistant Edward Green has joined Rivers United as the global assistant coach. Green is one of the very few holders of UEFA C license in Nigeria and is currently preparing to enroll for the UEFA B license. While in charge of Sporting Lagos in the MPFL, the team played arguably the best brand football in the country. And as also talking about MPFL this evening, former Sunshine Stars head coach Henry Abiodun has stepped down as the club's technical consultant. Abiodun, who gave reasons behind this decision, alleged that the club is being run in an unprofessional manner. I've stepped down from a position as technical consultant. I'm not stepping down this evening. No, I'm not stepping down. This is coming from Henry Abiodun. As technical consultant of Sunshine Stars FC, it's a difficult decision. However, it's not easy working in an unprofessional environment. Recall that Abiodun was drafted back to rescue Shooting Stars towards the end of last season by the Ondo State Commissioner of Sport and Youth Development, Honorable Saka Yusuf Ogunleye. Abiodun alleging the government, the Shooting Stars of Akure FC being run in an unprofessional manner, and that was certainly why it threw in the towel.
It's not it's nothing new. Like I said on this platform, and for whoever that wants to listen, I've always been an advocate that sports in Nigeria should be run as business and not as a recreational activity. If you believe with me that sports, especially football in Nigeria, has been over a time be run as civil service, and that's one fact that the head coach has, as the technical advisor of Sunshine Stars have established. It's been run as a civil service. Football should not be as a civil service. It should be a business entity, whereby he who sponsors the stockings of the team. If you look at now, let's go to Europe. When you see a stocking of the Chelsea Football Club, who sponsors their stockings? Who sponsors their boots? Who sponsors their jersey?
Some players
now there are individual players who have a brand company that gets to like, okay, will endorse you. Image right. They paid for all of these things. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case. For how long do we live in this dream that has refused to become a reality? We should live in the reality and stop living in the dreams. That's what we have in Nigeria. We live in the dreams and live the reality. Why we have pictured the reality and then metamorphoses into our dreams. We live in the reality of the Western world and metamorphose the reality into our dreams in the African world. No, we cannot live in that picture anymore. We should live in the world where our dreams becomes our reality. Now, bring our Super Eagles into play. Who sponsored the Super Eagles jersey? The Euros has just come and gone. The Copa America has just come and gone. Spain is the Euros champion. As Argentina, the Copa America's champion. Who was responsible for their jerseys? What was the income from their jerseys? What was the level of tickets sold? You remember in this? I think that was the semi-final match between England, where they were questioned that there were a certain number of tickets that were sold to the English fans and were not available to the opponent fans. Do we have that in Nigeria? Who receives the money for our tickets? What is it used for?
Daddybilly, the because he has resigned, technical consultant of Sunshine Stars alleged that the club is being run in an operational manner. What do you think should be the solution for Sunshine Stars of Akure? Because remember that it was drafted in last season to rescue them from relegation. It did rescue them from relegation. Now he has trained it over certain some instances that is being on an operational manner. What would be the way out for Sunshine Stars of Akure and other MPFL clubs that are running their club allegedly in an operational manner?
One, take sport out of civil service. Sports in Nigeria should be run as an independent. Yeah, it should be sponsored.
But most teams like Sunshine Stars of Akure is being sponsored by the state government.
Yes, no, that. But is as much as we would not have individuals or corporate organizations venturing into sport in Nigeria, because possibly of exploit. Now, give them a target. We will not run you as a civil service, but this is what we want you to do. The Minister of Sport, there are agencies in Nigeria currently that are not run by the budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but they are run by internally generated revenue. What are you able to generate? Now, if you look at sports in Nigeria, what is the revenue generation of sports in Nigeria through the federal government?
Talking about revenue of sports, the generation of the revenue from sports, the federal government, I think that is one thing that really we question us adequately for answer for quite a number of times. But away from MPFL disciplines, actually progress, Sure, Nigeria Football Federation (FF) has expressed its full support for the guest place of sports football tournament and initiative better by Honorable Ayo Omidina and organized under the auspices of Ayo Foundation. Through the custody of the tournament organizing committee to the NFF headquarters in Abuja today, the Secretary General of the NFF, Dr. Sanusi, NFF President Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau, stressed this tournament. Dr. Sanusi stated in his words now, anyway, making it mandatory football team. Let me repeat that again. NFF, under the leadership of Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau, is committed to making it mandatory premiership clubs, all premiership clubs, to establish women's football teams. These initiatives comes at the right time for the advantage of women's football. Nigeria, with its FIFA Fund, that talent development scheme. The founder of the tournament, talking about Honorable Ayomidina, expressed our gratitude to the NFF, and founder of said that organizing a competition like this will not compete with the NFF. The Ayomidina Foundation has already dedicated to the development of women football. We are always dedicated to the development of women football. And NFF is saying that all premiership clubs must have a women team. How many clubs in this in FPFL? How many FPFL clubs have a female team? Let me say a functional female team.
Now, I'll tell you a bit. Now, it's short to say that I'm not too sure, but about 75 to 80% of our FPFL team do not have a women team. I remember.
No, let's put it a functional women team.
I remember Rangers International adopting another female team just to make up for the continental engagement, because it's a criteria and they need female team as part of the criteria to function in a women's team. Now, to function in at the continental scene. Now, if you look at our women's team, you have very few teams that have the women. You have the Adamawa Queens, Adamawa Queens that have from Adamawa State, Abia Queens from Abia State, Bayelsa Queens, the Dazan ladies, the Delta Queens, the Benue State Queens, and all of that. Now,
Benue State.
Now you have
that. Let me take from this. The Benue State.
They used to have a female theme. For now, I really cannot boast of the Benue State female team. I really cannot boast of the Benue team, because now there have been like for the FCT now, the writers were really not better than the FCT. I think it was basically an effort, but it has not become an FCT because in the FCT, not become FCT team. I beg to be pardoned, but
and the FCT FHM also gives Nigeria
support, not because that's what he's hold to. I beg for pardon if I'm not sure, because I'm not really sure, but I so feel that that's what it is. It's not really.
Well, let me take you on this. What do you think the NFF should do to ensure that FPFL clubs complies with its directives and its mandate of having
to register a club, be it MPFL, NNL, NLO, you should have a female team. You should have an age grade team. It is not by which league you are playing. It is a standard of registration to NUA license. Now, let me come to NUA license. Now, Queen Park Rangers in the English English league, in the European League, Queen Park Rangers do not play in the Premier League because they gain qualification to the Premier League. It is because they first have a license to play in the leagues. So you should have an age grade team, you should have a feminine team. Arsenal has a feminine team. Chelsea has a feminine team. Barcelona has a feminine team. Real Madrid has a feminine team. Everton has a feminine team. Hull City has a feminine team.
Talking about this criteria of having a female team before you can actually participate in any league in this country, and also you team. No, all the clubs I don't think have not been compliant. I'm not complying well.
Strip them of their rights.
With what the LMC the league management committee actually give to them, because they said you must have a stadium that is standard according to the standard. But you've seen most clubs renting stadiums. Last season, Lobby Start for as a case study, we're using National Stadium here in Lafayette, and clubs like that.
I remember
the coming season now, Academy Warriors will be playing their own game here in Abuja, because the stadium over there in Borno State is not up to standard. So if the clubs cannot have a viable stadium, and the LMC approves them, gives them the nod to participate, how effective do you think that having a women team and youth team will be a criteria, will be a yardstick for them before they register for an MPFL team?
Now, when you don't have a home stadium, you play in an adopted stadium. It is not in the Nigerian Premier Football League or NFF rule book. It is not in the CAF rule book. It is in the FIFA rule book. Arsenal has once upon a time adopted the Wembley Stadium as their home before they went to Emirates Stadium.
Because
Manchester City has once played in the Manchester Stadium before having their home stadium.
Because
Tottenham Hotspur,
because they are from the same city.
Tottenham Hotspur has once upon played away from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
The stadium is not an innovation. In a situation whereby you have
Chelsea has borrowed a stadium before in the Stamford Bridge. So it is not about the stadium. The criteria for registering a team should be, what do you have? Do you have a stadium you can play? If your home stadium is not available, can you play your home games somewhere else? Yes. Where? Take us there. Is it befitting? Yes. Do you have a feminine team? Yes. Do you have an age grade team? Yes. From the age grade teams, what do you have? And that is what we have suffered in Nigeria.
How sure are we that all these teams actually comply with the mandate of the NFF? That's actually a question for another time. If talking about age grade team and the youth team, a 2-week development camp opened in Abuja for the Nigeria Premier Football League, MPFL Youth League of Stars. The 30 players who arrived at camp, they arrived camp yesterday, are currently staying at the FIFA Go project of the MPFL National Stadium in Abuja. There are a number of 7 players from the MPFL champions, talking about Nigeria's international youth team. 6 players, 6 from the MPFL owners of Lemon Stars youth team, the one they call Beyond Limit, and 5 from winners of maiden MPFL under 17 Youth League Rivers United. The rest are 4 from Plateau United and Plateau United, 2 from Lobby Stars, and 1 each from Abia Warriors and Sheshan Stars. The players were picked from the national qualifiers which were held in February at Lafayette, Kaduna, Ado-Ekiti, Enugu, and Parakot, as well as from the finals that were aired from the February 25th to 3rd of March in Benin City. And notable among the players are in camp at the door of Oscar or Ozomafor and Sophia Jackson of University United, Chimaobi Igulo of Rangers, and Aigbe Bolaji of Lemon Stars. The camp will close on 3rd of August, while plans to have the players travel to Spain for further training. Good one, I must say, coming from the NFF, now having a 2-week developmental youth league, and after the training, after the camp will close on the 3rd of August, they will actually go there to Spain for further training. But how useful, how effective will this development be?
How useful is this youth?
These players actually promising stars from their youth league.
How useful?
I've watched them play in some. I've watched some of their matches, and I saw how fantastic they are. Some of them did make a cut, to the under 17 team that could not make it to the African Cup of Nations qualifying series.
Now, for how long do we continue with this kangaroo arrangement? That is the big question. You and I remember 2 seasons ago when we had a kangaroo arrangement in the basketball, the Women Basketball League. And we went to the continental scene. What happened to us?
This one is not a kangaroo arrangement. No, this is like a developmental plan.
Now, what developmental plan are we having aside the 10-year master plan?
But the big question,
we have a 10-year master plan from the successive government.
The big question now is, after these players get out to Spain,
what becomes their next?
To have training, what does the future
now we are sharing the same view. That's why I call it a kangaroo arrangement. After this Spain trip now, you have few players from various teams. Will they make up to the next squad of the Super Eagles? This is more like an individual to those project players who have godfathers in the NFF.
Even the under 17.
I beg to be pardoned.
We didn't make it to the under 17. The next under 17 squad.
Now, Atoebi, for us to make it better, for us as a country to make it better, we have what we call the future Eagles. Let's have a developmental plan that from the future Eagles, we raise to the under 17. The future Eagles, I think, is under 15. We raise to the under 17, to the 18, to 20, to 21, to Olympics, the Dream Eagles, and to the national team. When we have such progression, we know that we are getting there. Not waking up one morning to say that we have few players from around the leagues, from zonal competitions, and we make them up to a team and we take them to Spain. What are they doing in Spain? Who will they be playing against? Will they be playing against their contemporaries? Will they be playing against? Now, have you wondered why that Nigeria has been the most successful team in the under 17 and under 20 world competitions in the World Cup? But we have not been able to lift the nation, the World Cup, get to the World Cup quarterfinal. Has any Nigerian team in the World Cup been able to get to the quarterfinal? But we have been the most successful team in the under 17. What has happened is because a certain Taye Taiwo celebrated alongside Mikel Obi and Lionel Messi celebrated under 17, was it under 17 or under 20 at the podium. But Lionel Messi now celebrates one of the world's best footballer. What happened to Taye Taiwo? What happened to Mikel Obi? You also remember with me that a certain Michael Santos, or what's his name? Yeah, I think Chris Santos, and one of our Ghanaian brother, and what's this guy's name again? Tony Cruz. Tony Cruz is now celebrating.
David De Gea of former United.
How many World Cup? How many trophies? But where are our African brothers?
David, we just hope and believe that no, this developmental plan.
We cannot keep hoping. We should go back if there is a drawing board to work, and if there is no drawing board, we should now start drawing. So that we can get the best of Africa.
And that's why I say I think the NFF are trying to plan their trees. They actually brought about these players in Nigeria. Nigeria's queen of track and world record holder in 100-meter hurdles, women hurdles, Toby Amuson, has been named Team Nigeria flag bearer for the opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympics. She becomes the first athlete from athletics in 20 years since Mary Onyali at the Athens Games in 2004 to have such an honor. In other appointments, the Nigeria Olympic Committee also announced badminton minister Oluwapo Okoyori as the general team captain for Nigeria in Paris. Nigeria is scheduled to compete in athletics, badminton, basketball, boxing, canoeing, cycling, football, women football anyway. Let me specifically say about football. Table tennis, taekwondo, weightlifting, and wrestling at the Summer Olympics from the 26th of July, and that is this week to 11th of August 2024. A total of 88 athletes will represent Nigeria the nation in different sports. And congratulations to Toby Amusan, as she has been appointed as a flag bearer for the team, becoming the second person to after 20 years from athletics, and also still sticking with Olympics this time around. With just 3 days left until the early anticipated 2024 Olympic Games kickoff in Paris, France, the Nigerian contingent is in high spirit following its foreign training tour in Germany and Spain, as well as the timely disbursement of foreign campaign allowance. So, John Owaeno, the Honorable Minister of Sport Development, stated that both domestic and foreign campaign allowances have been disbursed to the athletes in the words of the Minister of Sport. Ensuring our athletes are well prepared and motivated is a top priority. We are committed to providing all necessary support to help them excel on the global stage. Our athletes have shown incredible dedication and resilience, and we believe they are ready to make the nation proud. The Nigerian team have actually started receiving their allowances according to Minister of Sport Development.
Now, there is no better time to praise the Minister of Sport Development in Nigeria for this effort. I remember going into the Olympics, he had already promised that that all athletes will be receiving what is due to them. And like he always said, I remember when he handed over the athletes to the LMC and all of that, he said that Mr. President, in his graciousness, talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he has approved all the budget that the ministry did forwarded, and all has been remitted to the ministry. So I wish the ministry all the very best. I wish all our athletes all the very best. It is what it should be, that when you are representing your country, aside the fact that you are flying the flag of your country, you should also look back and see the motivation thereof. Because for most of these athletes, as it is to you and I, that we pay our bills by fucking on the MIC, it is also to them that the bills is paid by the field and track activities. So their wages should be paid as at when due. And that is what the Honorable Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owaeno, is doing. Like the man I call Joe. That's what and I so celebrate him for that. I just hope and wish that he shouldn't relax in his hours as we are praising him on this platform. Like I always tell anybody, if you do well, we will praise you. But the moment you relax on your hours and you take the other way around, like the holy books we said, that no man will be judged by his yesterday. You will always be judged by your today. We on this platform, we judge you by the moment, and we will tell Nigerians by the moment. And we'll do all to give you the privilege to speak out at your moment.
And also in the words of our head of station, Mr. Valerie say, you are as good as your last.
You are as good as your last production.
And we're talking about good as last production. I think the Minister of Sport Development actually deserves some accolade again this evening at Honorable Minister of Sport Development, Senator John Owaeno, has announced a transformative initiative to celebrate Nigeria's dream team's 1996 Olympics gold medal win, stating that while celebrating one of the nation's greatest sports nights, the ministry will use this power of storytelling to inspire a new generation of Nigerian sportsmen and women, fostering a sense of pride, dedication, patriotism, and resilience. Senator John Eno made a statement today during the landmark signing of a collaboration between the Federal Ministry of Sport Development and Homeland Security to document the heroic journey of Nigeria's dream team to the gold medal victory at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. And when I watched the match between Nigeria and Brazil, the semi-final between Nigeria and Brazil, and the final against Argentina, I think I understand the passion and how those that actually watched the match, then I was imagining how they feel. The Minister of Sport Development actually signed a partnership with a certain organization to produce the heroic film to tell the story, the real story of 1996 Olympics.
I really cannot wait to watch the documentary because I want to bring back very fast to history. Okochani Bebo and I love your fast baby too. I really want to have that flair because I remember as a young child where I was just watching football. I really could not picture what was the jubilation about at that day of the night when everything happened, that last minute goals, that euphoria, that celebration that came up. I really cannot forget that celebration that night. I remember, God rest his soul, my eldest brother, Blue Star, when he came up, when that from nowhere, he just held me very tight as a small boy, and I was just like, what's wrong with this guy? But that was the level of the celebration then. So I now bringing all of that into play in the form of storytelling, I think it is that high time we start celebrating Africa. Now, if you look at the European scene, there are lots of documentary of legends, except for a certain Sunday Ulysses, who has deemed it fit to write a book. I think the audacity, what's the name of that book? The audacity to refuse or something. Yeah, sincere apologies not to market his book.
And I would say a lot.
Yeah, sincere apologies not to market that book, but audacity to refuse. Now, except for him, which other African, which other Nigerian has deemed it fit to tell his story or our story in the journey of sporting events, not just in football? It's high time Africa tells her story. I used to tell everybody that wants to believe, African traditional religion is dying by the day because we are not documented. I am a Christian. My name is Christian by baptism.
Christian, or that. We just often believe that when the production comes out, actually a lot of sports men and women. Like I did told you earlier, that the gang actually be football. One of the gang were the FIFA show itself. That's actually rejoin us, and that's actually very engaged into some technical, and I can assure you that now he has actually joined in the studio. He has landed. That was bringing him actually in the studio. Geoffrey Shaku is doing this new job now.
And those in charge of the 10-year football master plan are listening to Christian this evening. And if they didn't make a move, I think I hope the case is not just going to be the one that we can just say we did not hear Christian, because the passion in him, if you have that passion, I don't know.
No, I'm sure we still have to go and look. We still dig deep into the 10-year master plan, very well, because it's not something
Sorry. I just hope that I have the opportunity to talk to the Minister of Sports Development.
Away from the 10-year master plan this evening, but it's sticking with only it's just 3 days to the Paralympic Games. The Nigeria Basketball Federation (NBBF) has released the final roster of the targets for the Paralympic Games. Leading the 12 players list are the captain of the team, Ami Okonkwo, the one they quarterly called Osiuman, Elizabeth Balogun, and Nicole Enaposi, Promise Amukamara, Majonatu Musa, and Ifunaya Okoro. Other players include Palas Kunayi, Blessing Ejiofor, Ezine Kalu, Olaluwatomi Taiwo, Lauren Ebo, and Adebola Adeye. And also as the Nigerian senior female national team, the Tigers, yesterday they did arrive in Lille, France for its last Brazil game against Japan ahead of the Paralympic Games that will begin on Friday. This week, Friday, they did preparing and training out in Germany under the tutelage of the highly regarded coach Brennan Wakama, and also played 2 test games against Germany and Serbia, losing both respective matches. And on Wednesday, talking about the Wednesday 12 to 12, this week, the Tigers will go out for another test game, this time against Japan female national basketball team by 8 p.m. in Lille, France. The Tigers actually, they've not been making similar impact. They've not made similar impact at the Olympics, but now they want to write a big statement.
When Wakame joined the league, the female team, we felt it's going to be like a new ride for our own the Tigers, because I remember she came into the coaching position after, I think, was it 2-3 weeks or thereabout?
3 weeks to
the Afro basketball or one competition, and she was able to get the team together and get the trophy on our trophy cabinet. I remember her statement after winning the trophy that she wasn't aware of the vacancy. She just spoke to a friend and they told her that this space is open. Why not apply? And did she really apply? But she got all of the space, and that's all. Now we're preparing for Olympics. We have high hopes. It was shocking to me that I think just about 2 or 3 days ago, that South Sudan basketball, the male basketball national team, gave the US national team a run for their money. A 101-100. It was with a slim fit. US came sweating heat and blood to get that one, and they got the better at the late of South Sudan. But this is the D Tigress, the continental champions, losing their 2 warm-up matches, walking into the Olympics. What are we expecting? Is it that the coach has relaxed on her arms after winning the competition that immediately she came in? Was it that because of the praises of Nigerians she now relaxed? Or what is the NBBF, the Nigerian Basketball Federation, what are they actually doing? Remember, I will always say, after the crisis between the Mark Igoche-led NBBFL and Musa Kida NBBFL.
There's no longer faction in NBBFL.
Yes.
After
that fraction, after that battle, that the then Minister of Youth and Sports Development now accepted the Musa Kida-led faction. What has happened? Where are we? What is our developmental plan? Are we planning when this team, this set of ladies face up, when this set of our D Tigers face up, what becomes of our future?
That's what becomes of the future of the Tigers if this current team actually face up. But see, I still have the faith that we have enough, a lot of players actually to stand up to that. But quickly, let me take Geoffrey on this. UEFA has opened disciplinary proceedings against Spain captain Alvaro Morata and teammates Rodri after they chanted Gibraltar in Spanish during the Euro 2024 victory celebrations. The Gibraltar Football Association made an official complaint about the celebrations to UEFA, European football governing body, appointed a disciplinary inspector to evaluate the potential violation of the UEFA disciplinary regulations. Morata and Rodri have now been charged with general principles of conduct, violating basic rules of decent conduct, using sporting events for manifestation of a non-sporting nature, and bring the sport of football and UEFA in particular into this dispute. And just a few days before that actually happened, we did brought to you that the South Argentina national team sang a racist chant at a France national team, even though they didn't play against France in the final of the Euros. And now it was later the turn of Spain, and UEFA has actually opened disciplinary proceedings against Alvaro Morata, the Spanish captain, and also Rodri.
So I keep saying it's when it's time to play football, let's play football. Talk politics, let's do politics, and let's leave it to those who are in the politics field to actually talk about it. I don't see the reason why you have to bring in politics in football field, and in that stage, in that matter, a moment where you are celebrating. I don't think most people will say it's due to the heat of the moment, but I don't think you are that, sorry to use this word, you are that loose to use such
Gibraltar is actually a former colony of Spain,
yeah,
now
exactly.
under England.
Yeah, that is now under England, and that is the problem now. But when it's time for, just like I said, when it's time for politics, let those who in the field talk about it. We're in football, we are in sport. Let's do sport. You've won the nation, the Euro. Beautiful, congratulations. It's same thing with the Argentina. And Argentina, for me, going down to the history, I look at the history a little bit. I discovered that even Diego Maradona have had same issue with his team back in the years and in the 80s when they actually beat England. World Cup, about Argentina and England having a particular conflict over an island. So at the end of the day, I want the players to understand that when we're playing football, play football. Bringing all this unnecessary, chant or whatever it is
in football, it damaged the image of the game. You remember the game is called the beautiful game. But right now, racism, anti-Semitic and whatever it is have, dampened the image of the beautiful game. So I just hope that, yes, this time around we will learn our lesson and they will, they will know what to do at the right time and at the right place.
Yes, we just all familiar learned our lesson and they just know what to do at the right time and at the right place. On behalf of Geoffrey Ishaku, the midfielder, so himself, the rule Dolly, one of Bauchi, and the vice captain of the gang, Odo Christian, the one we call Daddybilly. I still constituency. And thank you, Sister Vision, to you for keeping your dialogue. For that station, Nigeria Police Radio 99.1 FM, the station that is always and forever be your friend. And as our Olympic teams, the team Nigeria athletes, 88 athletes are over there in Paris, though saying they're actually ready to go. They say, ask about us. Ask about us. This is coming from above. And I say, good evening.
Christian, that's why they hear you for. I put on for last speaker.